Hare गौरा महाराजे सब स्थाने करल भ्रमण रंगे से सब स्थान हेरिबो आमी प्रणयी भगत संगे ये मृदंग वाद्य शुनिते मानम अवसर सदा जाछे गौरविहिता कीर्तन सुनि आनंदे हृदय नाचे ते जुगल मूर्ति देखिया मोर परम आनंद होया प्रसाद सेवा कोरिते होया सकल प्रपंच जाय जे दिन गृहे भजन देखी गृहते गोलोक भाय चरण सिधु देखिया गंगा सुखन सीमा पाय तुलसी देखी जुड़ाए प्राण माधव तो शनि जाने प्रति दिवसे परम सुखे स्वीकार करो ये शुद्ध भगत चरण रेणु भजनानुकूल Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Gauranidai, Gauranidai, Patita Bhavana Gauranidai. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Srila Prabhupada. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशत श्री श्रीमद् अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन जीव की जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया की पतित पावन गौर निताय की एकादशी महामहोत्सव की समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. Translation. Thus, from the lotus feet of pure devotee is conducive to pure to devotional service, while service to the Vaishnavas is itself the supreme perfection and the root of the tender creeper of divine love. I observe with great care the holy days like Ekadashi and Janmashtami, for they are the mother of devotion. As my dwelling place, I choose with the greatest of reverence. I conquer all over all. I conquer all over all worldly illusion. Goloka Vrindavan appear in my home whenever I see the worship and the service of Lord Hari going on there. Upon seeing the Ganges, which is the river of nectar emanating from the lotus feet of the Lord, my happiness knows no bound. The sight of the holy Tulasi tree soothes my soul, for I know she gives pleasure to Lord Krishna. By honoring Shaka, a green leafy vegetable preparation, a dear favorite of Lord Chaitanya, I consider life worthwhile. Whatever Bhakti Vinod obtain, that is conducive for the service of Sri Krishna, he accepts every day with the greatest of joy. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिमिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवै गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरु दीनतारिणम्. So we like to welcome everybody assembled here on this Ekadashi day morning to hear from Srila Prabhupada Lilamritam. Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken about Krishna. And when we hear about Krishna, result is Shunavatam Sakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanam Hudayantastu Abhadrani Vidunoti Suhasatam. The result is the contamination in the heart is purified and the life become very auspicious. So that doesn't restrict only hearing about Krishna. Hearing about Krishna's pure devotee also has the same effect that vidunoti swasatam. So therefore we are reading from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. Before we start Prabhupada Lilamrit reading, we like to seek the blessing of Anandmay Prabhu, who is a witness of Prabhupada Leela on this planet and in Hyderabad, like what Prabhupada did. So he is the one who speak about it. He has seen with his eyes that all the pastime what Prabhupada did, and he is a participant of so many of the pastime of Prabhupada. So we'll seek his blessing. So we'll read from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. This is volume 3. Only he could lead them. San Francisco and India, 1967. Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit is compiled by Srila Sastrudas Goswami Maharaj. India Revisited Part 2. When the day for Srila Prabhupada's departure finally arrived, he gave last instruction to Achyutanandam and Ramanuj. Just pray to Lord Krishna that I can go to America. He requested Achyutananda. How can I? Achyutananda replied, you'll be leaving me. No, Srila Prabhupada replied, we'll always remain packed up together if you remember my teaching. If you preach, you will become strong. And all this teaching will be in the proper perspective. When we stop our preaching, then everything becomes stagnated and we lose our life. Even here in India, people think that they know everything. but they are wrong. There is no end to hearing about Krishna. God is unlimited. So no one can say, I know everything about God. Those who say they know everything about God do not know. So everyone will appreciate you. Do not fear. Because Krishna's pastimes and Krishna's activity, his greatness is unlimited. It is mentioned even the Ananta with his unlimited mouth, Ananta mouth. Even if you glorified for another period of time, still he cannot come to the end of Krishna's greatness and his sweetness. And unless we preach, there's no life. Srila Prabhupada composed one song which glorifies Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. So in that song he told that when you was there, every home was a temple. Temple means where preaching is happening. Temple means where book distribution is happening. Every time Harinam is happening, people are coming and getting Krishna consciousness. This is called temple. And he told that in your absence, even the temple became a home. So, till the time we have life, we can preach. Achyutananda. When I returned to the room after sending off Swamiji and paying my obeisances at the airport, I felt void. I felt very lonely and rather weak. I returned to the room in front of Sri Radha Govinda, and chanting on my beads, I started pacing back and forth. What will I preach? The black and white marble floor passed under me. I stepped on the cracks, in between the cracks, and on the black and white marble again and again. Then I realized I was not seeing Radha Krishna. So I sat down directly in front and saw the brilliant form of Radha Govindji, and my eyes filled with tears. Of course, Srila Prabhupada spent his stopover in Tokyo, mostly in going to his hotel and checking into a room, bathing, resting, eating, and returning to the airport the next day in time for his flight to San Francisco. But he did not speak with the government secretary, explaining that Krishna consciousness was universal philosophy for reviving a personal, original, eternal consciousness. And he explained the crucial need for Krishna consciousness in human society. The secretary, however, said he felt certain that the Japanese government will not be able to help religious movement. Prabhupada was annoyed. He supposedly educated man was This supposedly educated man was so ignorant as to mistake Krishna consciousness for merely another sectarian religion. Prabhupada wanted intelligent men to try to understand Krishna consciousness and understand that the Gita was actual knowledge, transcendental knowledge, beyond the inferior knowledge of the senses and the mind. But he had his plane to catch. Japan will have to wait. So uh, we can say that these people are very unfortunate. Although they came across the precious gem of their life and they gave up in the name of sectarian religion. So Krishna consciousness has nothing to do with somebody as a Hindu, somebody as a Muslim, somebody as a Christian. Krishna consciousness is a universal subject matter applied to each and every. This is called Sanatan. Since time immemorial and applied to everybody, not restricted to some kind of people. The passenger and flight crew saw Prabhupada as an elderly Indian man dressed in saffron robes. The steward, stewardess were not sure at first whether he spoke English. But when he asked them for fruit, they saw that he could and that he was a kind gentleman. He was quiet, putting on his glasses and reading from an old book of Indian scriptures of for hours at a time, or moving his lips in prayer while fingering Indian prayer beads in a cloth pouch. This cloth pouch. Or sometime resting beneath a blanket, his eyes shut. So this is the we can call the effect of a Kali Yuga. In a other time when the saintly people will go, they have been welcomed wholeheartedly. Even Srila Prabhupada once went to one of the reputed bank, and the doorkeeper of the bank stopped them, thinking that they are just a beggar coming in a bank. So Prabhupada literally fight with that doorkeeper person, and when the bank manager came, he told that, "Do you think we are a beggar coming here to ask some money? We came to deposit money, and the person is stopping. Just somebody wearing this cloth doesn't mean that he's a beggar. He's begging to take, but he's giving. He's giving the most precious jewel, and that jewel is the Krishna consciousness." No one knew or bother to inquire into what he was doing. Even nowadays also, they did not know that anxious young hearts were awaiting him in San Francisco, or that the Macmillan Company in New York wanted to publish his English translation of Bhagavad Gita, or that he had a spiritual center in two countries. His plan for expansions all over the world. Prabhupada sat patiently, chanting often, his hand in his bead bag, depending on Krishna as the hours pass. This is the quality of a pure devotee, avyartha kalatvam. It doesn't waste the time. The moment they get the time, they'll glorify Krishna. If nothing is there, they'll chant the holy name of Krishna. It is not nothing is there, therefore chanting the holy name of Krishna. They are relishing a lot the holy name. In beginning days, when we have anarthas, we can't relish the holy name. Therefore, we chant so that and few other disciple smiling and waving on the other side of a glass partition. As he entered the terminal building, he moved towards the glass, and his disciple dropped to their knees, offering obeisances. As they raised their heads, he smiled and continued walking down the corridor while they walked alongside. Only the glass partition separating them. Then they disappeared from his view as he walked down the stairway towards immigration and customs. This is something very, very unusual. Even when a president and the prime ministers comes, such a gorgeous welcome is not offered to them. What gorgeous welcome offered to Srila Prabhupada? Because mentioned that Swadeshe Pujyate Raja, the king is being worshipped in his own kingdom. Vidwan Sarvatra Pujyate. And scholarly person worship to the everywhere. But devotee, all the planets. The downstairs area was also glassed in, and Prabhupada could see more than 50 devotees and friends waiting eagerly. As they again caught sight of him, they cried out of group, "Hare Krishna!" Swamiji looked wonderful to them, tan from his 6 month in India, younger and more sprightly. He smiled and triumphantly held up his hands in greeting. Devotees were crying in happiness. As Prabhupada stood in a line at the custom inspection point, he could hear devotees' kirtan. The glass wall only partially masking the sound. The custom official ignored the chanting, although the connection between the saffron robed passenger and the joyful chanter was not hard to see. Srila Prabhupada waited in a line, glancing now and then at his chanting disciple. Since he had already sent ahead the 800 books and several crates of musical instrument, he had only one suitcase to place on the table before the inspector. Methodically, the inspector went to the content: cotton saris for the girls, silk garland for Jagannath deities, kartal, saffron dhotis, and kurtas, a coconut grater, a little bottle of Ayurvedic medicine, something which is very, very unusual. Being a sannyasi, Srila Prabhupada brought the saris for the young girls. If we say Vedic ways is something unusual, nobody did. But Prabhupada did as an elderly father to teach them how to accept the Vedic culture. This is till now nobody did. An entire parampara. Whoever Acharya came, they went only in India, from south to north, to east to west. Prabhupada is a unique Acharya. He went to Western country. This not Prabhupada went to Western country. People just clapped the hand and said, "My brother and sister," and came back empty-handed. But Prabhupada brought the millions of people, not only to India, made them there also to accept the Vedic culture, and now also going on. What are these? The inspector probed. The little bottles look strange. He called for another inspector. A delay. Swamiji's disciple became perturbed by the pretty-minded custom inspectors poking through Swamiji's thing, now opening the tightly corked bottles, sniffing and checking the content. The inspectors seemed satisfied. Prabhupada tried to close his suitcase, but he could not work the zipper. Another delay. The devotee, still anxiously chanting, watched as Swamiji, with the help of a gentleman behind him, managed to zip his suitcase close. Swamiji walked towards the glass door. The devotee began chanting madly. Last week we experienced when Srila Indranand Maharaj came, like a madly devotee were like chanting and dancing. As he stepped to the door, a devotee blew conch shell that resounded loudly throughout the hall. Devotees garlanded him, and everyone pressed him, handing him flowers. He entered their midst as a beloved father enter and reciprocate the embrace of his loving children. Volume 4, in every town and village around the world, 1968, 1971. Chapter 1, Unlimited Opportunity, Limited Time. Montreal, August 1968. Srila Prabhupada was in his room, speaking with several disciples. So, Annapurna, you have got some news? He asked. Annapurna was a young British girl. A few months ago, her father had returned from England that he might be able to provide a house if some devotee came there. Yes, she replied. So, what is our next program? She was reticent. That letter from your father is encouraging. Yes, he encourages me, but he say he cannot provide any place if we come there. Prabhupada looked disappointed. That's all right. It is up to Krishna. When we go to someone to preach, we have to stand before them with a folded hand, with all humility. My dear sir, please take to Krishna consciousness. And this is not Prabhupada speaking something new. This is the parampara. Even Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Generally we see the grass. Who keep in a mouth? Animal. So Akarodha Paramananda Nityananda Rai. Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Vedai. Jare dekhe tare kohe Dante Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And people chant, Sonar Parvata Jeno Bhumete Lotai. He will roll on the ground and he'll beg them, please chant. And he'll become so happy when they chant. Prabhupada, Pradyumna spoke. I was reading a book by this big atheist Swami. Hmm. There are some letters in the back of the book, and I was looking at them. Atheist Swami's book, Prabhupada said, we have nothing to do with. I was not looking at his philosophy. Pradyumna explained. I was just looking at the technique he used when he was in America. He wanted to go to Europe. He had a man, a rich benefactor, who went on a 6-week tour of France, England, Germany, Switzerland, Holland, and then back, arranging lectures. That's how he did most of his tour. He had one or two influential people, and they arranged everything, and the lectures were arranged on the society. So, you can arrange like that? Prabhupada asked. I was thinking that there will be a Royal Asiatic Society in London. I think Thakur Bhakti Vinod was a member of that. But where is Thakur Bhakti Vinod Sangha Association? Prabhupada asked. Well, Pradyumna continued. Still, there may be some people you could open correspondence with. They might be interested in sponsoring you. Is there anything about Krishna in that Swami's speech? Prabhupada asked. No. Prabhupada sat thoughtfully. In England, he will have no place to stay. Prabhupada might talk of influential person traveling ahead and making all the arrangement, but where were such persons? Here was a shy girl who could barely speak up, whose father will not help, and Pradyumna reading an atheist Swami and talking of Royal Asiatic Society, but nothing practical. Prabhupada had a plan, though. He had asked Mukunda and Sham Sundar to go to London and try to establish an fee. One of the sannyasi had made Lord Jetland, who had inquired curiously, Swamiji, can you make me a Brahmana? The sannyasi had assured Lord Jetland he could, certainly, if Jetland will give up meat eating, intoxication, gambling, and illicit sex. Impossible, Lord Jetland had replied, and the sannyasis had accepted this response as a standard for all European. The sannyasi had returned to India. Vaishnavism could not hold in the West. Maybe that is his opinion. Not necessarily that everybody is like that. See, in our preaching course, if we come across some people, doesn't mean that it will not work. That person's problem, not a problem of philosophy. The process is perfect. The person is a problematic. Prabhupada had a faith that his disciple will succeed. They will help him establish ISKCON center in Europe, just as they had in North America. Certainly, such success will greatly please Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Prabhupada told of a man who found a god lying on the road and picked it up, and then found a stick and a wire and picked them up. In themselves, the three parts were useless. But by putting a god, the stick, and the wire together, the man made a veena and began to play beautiful music. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada had came to the West and found some rejected youth lying here and there. And he himself had been rejected by the people of New York City. Not only New York City, even by India. But by Krishna's grace, the combination had become successful. If His disciple remained sincere and followed his order, they will succeed in Europe. This is the secret of success. If we just stick to the, if we remain sincere and followed his order, and we can see Anandmay Prabhu is a sincere throughout his life and followed the order, which is not possible to be followed by any ordinary man in a due course of time. Prabhupada told you be here and distribute books in Telugu, and you took as the life and soul, like a Lakshman Rekha, not to cross for. Three married couple, Mukunda and Janaki, Shyam Sundar and Malki, with their infant daughter Saraswati, Gurudas and Jamuna, arrived in Montreal, eager to travel to London. This three couple had begun the temple in San Francisco, where they had close association with Srila Prabhupada. They had helped Prabhupada introduce Kirtan, Prasadam, and Rathayatra among the hippie of Haight Ashbury. Now they were eager to help him introduce Krishna consciousness in London. Prabhupada asked the three couple to remain with him in Montreal for a week or two so that he could train them to perform Kirtan expertly. Chanting Hare Krishna was not a theoretical performance but an act of a devotion. Our chanting is not to show how much good singer am I, but for pleasure of Krishna. Properly conducted only by pure devotee, not by professional musician. Yet, if proper disciples become proficient in their singing, Londoners will better appreciate Krishna consciousness. The thought of these devotees preaching in London made Prabhupada ecstatic. With their kirtan, they will become more popular than the yogis with their gymnastics and impersonal meditation. As the London program became a tangible fact, Prabhupada began to reveal more plan. Prabhupada already seemed to have hundreds of a detailed plan for implementing Krishna consciousness around the world. From London, go to France, Germany, Europe, different place. And because of that, we see like Anep also came back, like we got him like because some seed was sown there. Prabhupada already seemed to have hundreds of detailed plan for implementing Krishna consciousness around the world. He only needed willing helper. Now also, in the daily kirtan rehearsal, Prabhupada taught the devotee to chant Hare Krishna and other devotional songs, beginning with a slow tempo and building gradually. He will regularly interrupt and have them begin again. Listening carefully as Jamuna led the chanting, Prabhupada will stop her at a time to correct her Sanskrit pronunciation. So since now time is up, I'll just discuss a small incident what happened in upcoming things. So when devotee went to became completely absorbed and breaking the four regulator principle, Dhutam Panam Striyashunam. And the result of these activities, one became popular because he was a good singer. At the same time, he got so many enemies. So uh, uh, one day, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, then this scene happened in New York. So one day, this is something in 1980s, quite later. I don't remember exact year, but 1980s. So Shyam Sundar Prabhu and one more devotee, they're planning to go to doctor to meet him in hospital. So they went in dhoti kurta. Although one devotee told, let us go in a pant shirt. So Shyam Sundar Prabhu told, we'll go in dhoti kurta. So both of them went in a dhoti kurta, they had tilak, and they're waiting for a doctor to come for. And the long time is being passed by, doctor did not turn up. So we see in hospital there's a big corridor. And the rooms open there like all the rivers go meet in the ocean. So like a big corridor and all the rooms open there. So Shyam Sundar Prabhu was chanting on his beads and and calling loudly. So that making a echo in a corridor. So Shyam Sundar Prabhu is walking, chanting loudly, and that created an echo in the corridor, and he saw from the other end some persons being brought on a stretcher, and seeing that that person is in emergency. So Shamsundar thought like, let me go near that person. So he increased the speed, walking towards that person. And that person happened to be John Lennon, who shot fatally. His whole body was wounded. There were so many shots. And he was carried by the doctors to go for the operation theater. And the Yoko was there. And some other Yoko was trying to, he was almost half unconscious, John Lennon. Some other she was trying. So Yoko saw Shyam Sundar Prabhu. She heard the holy name and she was Samyak Dhoti Kurta. She told, John, Hare Krishnas are there. John, Hare Krishnas are there. So John Lennon, he opened the eyes, said Hare Krishna and left the body. So we can see he did just little bit service. Salpam apyasya dharmasya trayato mahato bhayat. Somehow or other Krishna arranged him, Shamsundar Prabhu, to go in that hospital. Krishna inspired to chant loudly and walk in that corridor only, not somewhere else. And Yoko somehow other tell John Hare Krishnas are there and call the name of Krishna, left the body. So even if you do little bit, little done, God one. So have faith in Krishna that whatever you are doing, Krishna will take care of you. So have that faith that Krishna will not give it up. And today is that day. We can increase our faith by calling the name of Krishna some extra time. Those who chant 16 down, they can try to chant 32, 48, 64 is the best. It's like a buy one, get 1,000 free. Chanting 1 down is equal to 1,000 down. So 16, 64 down means 64,000 down. Such a wonderful opportunity. It's like a jackpot. So Anand Mayapur is a walking, talking, all this past time. Poji can share something about this. Or correct me like what else.
I don't know what to say.
Goswami Maharaj